let's start. And I think in the next 1-2 minutes, other colleagues will be joining us. Welcome. Thank you to all of you to be available for us to be talking to each other. Okay. So Adib is the person who will be facilitating the discussion. Thank you, Adib.
You're welcome.
I am thanking you on behalf of all of us. Adib will be facilitating our discussion, but it is a moment we can talk to each other, and if other colleagues have other inputs or good tips and guidance to bring, it will be very welcome. So we are conducting this session in the context of COVID-19 for our staff, for us as a staff. Take into account that this outbreak have introduced some changes in our life, in our work life, but also in our private life. And we have to manage ourselves, we have to accommodate, we have to keep moving. And we have an additional challenge, which is working from home. Not everybody have to adapt ourselves. We have to be working at the same time, keeping our well-being. So this is where Adib will come to bring to us professional, technical guidance, tips that can help us during this moment. We didn't move to working from home on 100% as UN, not only UNFPA. We are working from home at the moment around 50%. So we have, as you know, all of you know, we have two groups, group Team A, Team B, and we are shifting the working from home and the office. We have some colleagues that are not physically here in the camp because of some constraint, and because they from the organization they are. The organization has requested them to return, but all of us, we are here working from home 50% of our time, trying to keep distance at office and in our daily life. So without further going on that, I am requesting Adib to take the floor and to guide us on this session. Thank you, Adib. Thank you to all of you. I am muting my mic. I am asking all of you to mute your mic. Adib will be talking. When we have someone that wants to raise something, first of all, use the chat. And if it is important, raise your hand before speaking and before mute your mic. Okay, thank you. Let's move, Adib.
Yeah, thank you, Nelida. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity today to share a bit about how to manage our well-being. I will try to present the materials. Wait, I will just share.
I'm sorry, Adib, before you're moving, one important information is Mitrama was trying to join us, okay? He was trying to share the session himself. But at this moment, since our situation in the country is evolving, he is involving many core groups from UNCT and thematic groups that have been created to respond, to support the response to this COVID-19. So this is why he's not with us today. If he has time, he will come to join us. If not, we will move, and maybe on the next session, he will be here with us. Thank you, Adib.
Yeah, thank you, Nelida. It's okay. Yeah. Again, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope we are in a good condition today. I would like to just a brief presentation, and then in the middle of the presentation, if you have anything to discuss, anything to talk, please feel free. If I cannot see you on the chat box, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself so I can pay attention on that. So this afternoon, we would like to discuss about how to manage our psychological well-being during this COVID-19 outbreak. I know that this is a bit challenging situation that happening to us. So before we start, I want to emphasize that this afternoon session, we will only focusing on the mental health and psychosocial impact of COVID-19 because I'm not a medical professional, so I would not going into the something related with the health or more medical side. I will only focusing on the mental health and psychosocial impact during the COVID-19. It is strongly encouraged for all of you to join until end of this session, just to make sure that we have a get better understanding and to avoid misunderstanding about some missing information. Please again feel free to share any question or any queries at any time during this presentation. What is COVID-19? As we might be aware that this is some viruses that affected our respiratory illness, ranging from the common cold to more severe diseases. And with the most common symptoms like fever, tiredness, and dry cough, this is something that somehow it can be like misleading with some of the early sign of medical problems, and it's easier that affected on our well-being with this kind of common cough, common coughing or fever that it will interpret it as a COVID-19, something like this. That's why we need really pay attention about the most common sign, what is the general sign of COVID-19. Most of the people, this is the most important information that we should bear in mind that mostly around 18 up to 19% recover from the disease without needing special treatment. Mostly the patient who develop more severe illness, them who already have the pre-existing medical problems. For example, they have like high blood pressure, a problem or diabetes. So if we don't have any kind of pre-existing medical problems, I think there is no reason for us to feel worried about this kind of virus. Okay, so I would like you to open your device. We will go, I just want to have like more opinion on your side. Please go to the Mentimeter, www.mentimeter.com, and then split this code, and then we want to have a voting. What do you think? What the most common psychosocial impact of COVID-19, which might happen to you and your family? Worry about the family members, yeah. Specifically for you who might be like far away with the family and then we also not certain with the family member. I'm talking about myself, I think. Okay. Yeah, some of them may be like the pain, body pain, insomnia, worry, yeah. Yeah, we will get back to your answer, discuss later why it happens, right? Yeah, mostly anxiety. This is the most things that happen to everyone. Is that the situation that happened to all of you? What do you think? There's almost all the times, right? Yeah, we keep alert all the time with any news or any update from social media about the COVID-19. We checking on regular basis, even like on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, or any kind of information. So it's kind of our body, our mind, our emotion, like we just focusing onto this one, and then anytime there is some news or some posting, any update in the social media, is like we just easily to get alert. Not only alert, but somehow, sometimes we are busy to broadcast all the information, which is somehow it's not necessary, right? Yeah, the news that coming, from social media, for this kind of um, WhatsApp, maybe. What do you think about this one? Can anyone explain about me, about this one, voluntarily? What do you think? Maybe someone would like to speak, or if I'm presenting about this one, what do you think about this picture? Please, anyone want to voluntarily explain to me what does it mean?
I think it means that people can become overloaded very easily. If you have a look at this, there's just too much information. It's very difficult to sort out what is actual news and what is misinformation. And this is where it's really important that, you know, you talk about healthy brain breaks and how you incorporate healthy brain breaks in an event like this.
Yeah, this is actually one of the example how, I mean, like during the last, even like this even happened to me during the last 2-3 weeks when we start to get like more news, and then also the cases increasing in Myanmar. So we cannot even focus and concentrate with our work. Can concentrate with work, and then mostly as the one that you already mentioned, anytime we open the laptop, anytime we are start to working, or we start to focus and we try to find any information related to COVID-19. So we are not focusing with it's really impacted about our daily activity, about our daily work. We cannot fully concentrate into this one. We are only focusing onto this one to get the update, to get any information about this one.
I mean, one other thing is, I would say, is that at that point where you were there, Adib, you do this because you everybody needs a sense of control, but actually all of this does is heighten your sense of no control.
Yeah.
You know, it actually it intensifies all of those feelings you've got. It doesn't alleviate them.
Yeah. This is, as I mentioned in the beginning, why somehow when we start to get the, okay, what is the most common sign of the COVID-19, for example, we aware that this kind of, fever is the most, the primary sign. That's why somehow when we come to any area, or we come to the public space, or we come to the mall, and then they check our body temperature in order to check our fever level or something like this. Somehow we get the fever, which is like, this is something that the common cold, common flu that happened to us on daily basis. But since recently, during the last month, we got like exposed with all the information related to COVID-19, even with this kind of common sign, probably our body immunology at this time is like reducing. We got a bit fever. I'm already tired with a lot of work. I get a bit fever or weakness or maybe coughing. Then we interpret it. This kind of information. It probably I got COVID-19, maybe, right? That's why this kind of situation, it could lead to fear of being infected, this kind of misleading information. Somehow that this is actually the common sign that happened to us. Maybe on daily basis we have these things, but considering the COVID-19 situation recently is really impacted on our fear or our anxiety about this primary sign. This is the one commonly happen, despite of the one that you already, all the one that you already mentioned is already here. Psychological reactions such as panic, anxiety, or denial may be occur. Anxiety is associated with uncertain situation, which is like the pandemic getting worse, or how it's like I get infected, how about my family, how about friends, colleague, right? Considering about the virus maybe like spread out around me or something like this. So this kind of uncertain situation. That's why mental health and psychosocial should be a part of the response that we start to consider, not only for us, not only implement for ourselves or family, but also since we are working with other partners, we should also consider how the important impact of mental and psychosocial support to the first responders, specifically for them, someone who work directly with the community. For example, the nurse or doctor that they are working in the community or the public health center. So we need also to consider. That's why starting from today's session, hopefully we can apply to start to recognize, to be more aware what is the most common sign of psychological problems, psychosocial impact that happening to me, impacting me, to my mental health, and then later on, based on this kind of early identification that happening to me, happening to us, it will help us to understand better about the people around us, about our family, about our friends, about our colleagues, in order to provide better support for them. Again, as we mentioned, the social media impact, myth about the pandemic. Some days ago, I got the news that in some refugee camps, some of the people believing, even like, for example, in my country, they believe like by showing garlic, it can prevent from the coronavirus, something like this. So we should really rely on the actual information, because whatever information that has come to us, we will digest, we will accept this kind of information, and then it will really impact it on our psychological or mental well-being. The last phenomena, we call it as kind of mass psychology or mob psychology phenomena. This is something that automatically happening to us when we receive a lot of the information specifically related to the pandemic or this kind of mass situation. This is really impacting to us to follow automatically. Because the mass anxiety, the anxiety happening to our community, happening to the people around us, this is really impacting to us. We just automatically following. Okay, I see that someone following or buying something, panicking is kind of panic buying, or they are going like uncontrollable behavior, then we just following automatically. So this is something that also one of the phenomena that we mentioned about of the pandemic situation that probably happening around us. That's why we really need to be like more aware about this kind of situation. What should we do better? Do you think is that normal? The one that we already mentioned, the one, the psychological impact that you already mentioned in the beginning. I feel anxiety. I feel I cannot concentrate. I feel like sad. I feel like worried about my family. What do you think? Do you think this is normal or abnormal? Give me your opinion on your chat box. Some of you already mentioned, I have a lack of concentration. I cannot fully concentrate with my work. I feel anxiety, I feel nervous. Yeah, agree. Yes, this is the normal situation that happening most of us. Because this kind of situation, it is normal for us to feel sad, to feel stressed, confused. What happened? Because this is the most common reaction during the critical period happen to everyone. Talking with the people that we can trust, either is like our colleague, our friends, family, contact them. Try to release this kind of anxiety or feeling if you feel sad, stressed during this situation and confusing about what's going on. Why people start to panic buying? When I go to marketplace, why I couldn't find any goods that I want to buy? So seems like we are confusing. Yesterday I went to one of the shopping mall nearby. It's just exactly all the shop is closed. Only some of the shop is open. So it's kind of confusing. What's going on? Surely normally this location that is so crowded, traffic jam almost every day, but now it's quiet. What's happened? So if you find that psychologically, or you find that yourself having this kind of feeling, then please, it will be helpful for you to try to release, to talk with someone that you can trust, because this is the normal. Remember, I already discussed about this one, some of you, that this is the common reaction during the crisis situation. When we find this kind of critical situation, either this is a pandemic, this is traumatic experience, disaster, our body start to adjusting. When I want to decide whether I have to stay, it means that I have to fight, or I have to fly. I have to run away with this kind of situation. Then we also need to think, okay, with this kind of situation, can I keep staying? Can I survive? Or I have to fly? If I fly, if I run away, where? So, because we are confusing somehow, in order to consider want to fly or want to stay with this kind of situation, so our body respond automatically in order to protect ourselves. So how the way our body mechanism in order to protect ourselves, this is increasing our body heart rate, blood pressure, muscle tension, breathing rate. So this kind of normal reaction in order to adjusting with this kind of situation. Probably the previous one that I already mentioned, my body temperature increasing is kind of fever, but it's actually not, because maybe this is kind of the how the way we adjust, how the way we reacted with this kind of panicking situation, the critical incident that happening to us. So please, if you have this kind of things during the last 2-3 weeks, this is still normal that we need to find a way how to deal with this kind of situation. Stay calm and stay at home. This is the most important thing that we should keep in mind, that just keep calm. We put it like mindfulness. Mindfulness is kind of how we totally aware with this kind of situation, and also the body sensation that happening to us. Mindfulness is kind of practical that if some of you probably on regular basis practicing the meditation, so this is can be like one of the simple um, exercise. This is one of the example how we practicing mindfulness. Basically, we totally aware. If some of you probably medical doctor that doing screening for health condition of the patient, you do this kind of medical exercise, medical examination in order to find in which area of the body of the patient having this kind of sickness. But mindfulness is kind of exercise that we are trying to identify to ourselves in which part of my body that I get when I get the anxiety, when I feel worry, when I feel nervous, in which part of my body that feeling tension. Probably in my neck, probably in my chest, probably in my abdomen. So this is one of the exercises that help us in order to identify the early sign when we still starting to feel a tension happening to us. Why this is important? Because stay calm and less stress are important, because again, I want to emphasize during this time that if we're mentioning about the health, this is not only related with the physical, but also we should consider about our mental condition, because when we talking about health, not only physical, there's a connection. We call it mind and body connection. There is some problem related with cardiovascular, joint muscle. Somehow when we feel tension, we feel like a back pain or neck pain or feel tiredness. As we mentioned in the beginning, some of you feel like, okay, I get like some pain in my body just because the tension, the psychological stress, psychosocial stress that happening to us, this is affecting on our body. Some of you maybe have like this kind of skin problem like me. Somehow if I'm like nervous, I just like feel itchy, a part of my body just like this kind of thing. Also some of them like have a reproductive problem or immune system, because this is very important for us to stay calm and less stress, because when we expose on daily stress, it is will affect it on our body immune system. Too much exposure, maybe some of you medical doctor can explain about there is a glucose, a part of the body that is like reducing by the when we feel like more tension, so the production of glucose is kind of increasing. When it's too much, then it's also affecting our body immune system. Why this is important? Because at this time we really need to have a good immune system to fight about COVID-19. probably we expose already with the small things related. Maybe the virus is happening around us, but we're still healthy. We're not affected. We're not impacted by this kind of COVID-19 because we still have a good immune system. That's why we can fight against COVID-19. This is what we need now. We need to pay attention, not only precaution from the physical side, but also we need to pay attention about our psychological or mental health in order to keep our body to fight the viruses. This is how actually the connection that happening on our psychological condition. When we think something bad, it will affect it on our emotion. And for sure, it will be affected on our behavior. For sure, it also will affect it on our physical health. I am thinking that probably I will be die because of COVID-19. Then if I'm thinking that I'm gonna die because there's a lot of viruses happening around me, then I will feel like insecure. I feel anxious. I feel worried about the feeling that I have is like, because I'm thinking that I'm gonna die because of this virus. Then it's affected on my feeling. I feel nervous, I feel worried. Because I feel nervous, because I feel worried, then the behavior that is affected, I cannot concentrate at all. I cannot work properly. I can even like keep staying or even like increasing my obsessive behavior, washing hand or something like this. But if I just thinking like in a positive way, for example, yeah, I can be die at any time, with or without coronavirus. I can die. Then why have to be worried? I can die anytime. My life is like, this is what I believe, for example. My life is on the hand of my God. So I can die anytime with or without COVID-19. So emotionally like, okay, I just feel calm. This can be happen at any time. Then the behavior, I can keep calming with this kind of situation. I can do like more proper behavior. I can work properly. So this is how actually impacted. That's why all the information that we got from the news, somehow this is really impacted our psychological condition, because when we receive any information, for example, yesterday, some of the colleagues in the field, they are discussing that I'm alerting all the times just to receive any news from the government. How many cases tomorrow will be released? So this is also creating this kind of anxiety. Then it's okay, maybe increasing day by day, it will be increasing. Then it makes like more worry, more anxious, and also for sure it will be impacted on our behavior and also how to be behave, and also about psychological health and physical health. Important for us to manage our thinking and our feeling. How to manage? Minimize watching, reading, or listening the news that cause you feel anxious or distressed. You are the only one who knows what kind of information it will increasing my anxiety. For example, on my cases, I always get a lot of chat come to my WhatsApp, either it's like personal chat or WhatsApp group or everything. When I start to have a look on the WhatsApp chat, then it's like something related to Corona, COVID-19, I will just remove it. I will just archive or I will just delete it automatically. The only information that I always have a look, like checking my email or some update that coming from the UNFPA group. Sex information only from the trusted, because I know when I have a look for all information related with this kind of disease, it will be also affected on my thinking. Okay, I think, oh, it's getting severe. Even like, for example, in my country, it's like now it's more than 1,500 more cases. So it's increasing my anxiety. So this can be one of the example that how we manage our thinking, our feeling. We filter all the information that coming to us. We rely on the organization, probably WHO information. We have it already, Ministry of Health, or any update that coming from UNFPA. Please limit your access to the social media, which is it can increasing your anxiety. Remember, we need to manage our stress level. We already discussing during the staff retreat. I just want to repeat it about this adaptive coping mechanism by developing resilience. We strongly encourage to maintain the strong relationship. That's why it is very important for us to get the social support during this difficult situation, either from the family, either from the people around us, the colleague. Find a sense of purpose in life, including doing this kind of religious activity or anything that make you feel like more calm, increasing the self-awareness. This is the one that we are doing now in order to recognize what the most common sign. If I start to feel worried, if I start to feel nervous, mindful, exercise, eating healthy foods, sleeping well, engaging in hobbies. So this is kind of things that everyone have any other way how you can nurture yourself. Be optimist. I know that this is somehow it doesn't make any sense. The situation like will be over soon, but we need to try to manage our thinking that okay, this situation is only temporarily and it will be over. Find a positive way of thinking. I'm working with the UN, which like most probably with high possibility for me to get more accurate information, reliable information comparing with, for example, my family. They're just staying at home. The only existing media they have is like coming from WhatsApp, coming from the news. As we might be aware, somehow the news is like they are overwhelming. They're like more dramatized, the news that coming. So this is not really healthy for them, but for us, we can get more accurate information. So this can be like one of the positive way of thinking that we can rely on. Okay, I'm working with UN. I get like most probably get more accurate information. I can always have support from others, people around us. Support is also during difficult situation, having regular check-in. This is also something that very, very important somehow. Our colleague, like my supervisor, Eri, Yanika, Lay, Tuza, somehow just check in. Adib, how are you today? How's your feeling? So this is one of the things that also really, really helpful for us to do like this regular check-in, this kind of support that at this moment is really, really needed. So please feel free to reach people around you, someone that probably need us to get this kind of support. Again, no single method will be work for everyone. This is just like the general suggestion. Okay, before I move forward, is there anything to discuss, anything to raise? Please feel free. Or everyone sleeping? Any question, anything to discuss? If, okay, I will continue. Maybe in the end of the session, we can discuss. If we should someday, I know that UNFPA start to implement that some of us working from home, some come to the office. If we must stay at home, we must work from home. Please keep our daily routine as much as possible. It doesn't mean when I keep staying at home and then I will just wake up in the morning, I'm still using my pajama or I still using my dress that I'm using for sleeping and then I start to working. Please don't do that. If we are have the opportunity to working at home, just keep on your mind that I'm working from home. Wake up in the morning, do any kind of physical exercise, whatever do you like, yoga or anything. Take a shower and then starting a day. Take a shower, breakfast, to rest up properly. Rest up properly. It just looks like I will go to the office, but at this time I won't go to the office, but I just working from home. I set up my duty station. Maybe some corner at your house, how you can set up most comfortable. I know that this is a bit challenging, specifically for all of you who working with working at home where all the family members around. So we will discuss this more specific about how to manage how to set up working from home, maybe next week with some specific additional presentation. But this time, I just want to make sure, I just want to emphasize that you try to do the regular routine as much as possible. Okay. This is just one of the suggestions. No single method for everyone, because everyone have different way to deal with the stress. So we can call with friends, somehow disconnect with technology, disconnect with our Facebook, limited the access to our social media. Somehow it helps, because I know that some of colleagues, when I try to reach them by social media, it's like a bit challenging, and this require like say 2-3 days or even 1 week to answer, because this is how the way some of the people try to manage their mental well-being, their to deal with some of the stress, because somehow when we are connected too much with this kind of social media, is also impacting us to have the negative feeling. Look at happy photo. If you have the photo in the past, that's why I'm like, I put like the background of my pictures about my family, about my son, about how to smile. So it's kind of something that also helping us to feel better. Punch a pillow, maybe somehow, if you can do it, there's no one around you. So it can be one of the options. Spend time with your pets, yeah, likely, as long as your pet did not bite you. Okay, so this is just some of the exercise, some of the example that you can apply. Why sit in the sun? Somehow it's work, because like some of the people during the winter, for example, people have like this kind of depression. We have like seasonal depression because we have limited exposure to the sun. That's why somehow sitting under the sun in the morning with like this kind of light, it helps us also to feel better. Take a shower, play football, whatever that you feel is like more helpful for everyone. This is just some of the suggestions that you can choose. You can pick which one is like more suitable, that helping me to feel more better. Bear in mind, this is will be like nearly end of my presentation. There is a two situation. There is some controllable situation, then there is uncontrollable situation. What we can control? We should be aware, we should totally aware that in this world there is like something that we can control, something that we cannot control. What we can control? Our own behavior. We can control how to behave, how to have like a healthy behavior. We can control to stay at home. We can control to wash our hand, to make a physical distancing, to have regular exercise. This is something that we can control. Eating healthy food. We should limit our social media contact to filter all the information that we want to listen. So this is kind of the things that we can control from our stress, including managing our stress level. And also for sure to think what we think that we feel. This is something that's controllable. But there is something outside of ourselves which is like uncontrollable. We cannot control the situation to stabilize at this moment. I know that this is chaos. It's not only in Myanmar. It's not only here, but it's around the world. I cannot go anywhere. Even I go to my country, even worse. It's more than 1,700 now already affected. So this is something that I cannot control. So we have to deal with this kind of thing. Stop the pandemic immediately. No, this is like something that out of our control. We cannot do it. We cannot control other people's behaviors. The only things that we can do, the only things that I can do now is like only controlling myself. Take a distance, washing our hand. We cannot stop people. Okay, please don't send a broadcast message to me. No, we cannot do that. Just let them send broadcast message. This is our choice. We want to read it or not. No, please don't posting any negative information related to COVID-19, which is like making me feeling bad. No, we cannot control this one. Let them post any kind of information. This is ourselves to control that we want to see this posting or not. This is our choice. So this is something that I want to emphasize, that we only focus on the controllable behavior. Just bear in mind that we cannot control something out of our world. To stabilize the situation, to stop the pandemic, we just focus on this one. Focus on our own behavior, focus on our stress management, focus on our health, and then how do we can manage. If you try to deal with yourself and then you cannot overcome, you cannot deal it, feel free to reach me. You have me, we have also Kate, the one that's also available to support you at any time to discuss with any kind of challenge. This is the available resources that you can also access at this moment. Coping with stress during the COVID-19 outbreak and helping children. This is also already translated into Burmese session. That's all my story this afternoon to bring you a bit sleepy. Feel free if there is any question or anything to discuss. You can unmute. Okay, I know that some of you probably will have a meeting soon, so I think that's all from my side. Thank you for joining this afternoon session. Please feel free to reach me at any time if you have any queries, any suggestion, or you try to manage yourself about dealing with this kind of challenging, but you cannot be able to manage. Just feel free to reach me at any time. Drinking enough water, yeah. Go to bed in timely manner, yeah. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, I think that's all. Everyone, again, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for joining the session this afternoon. Stay safe. Have a good day. Good afternoon. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.